Another week, another Chainsaw Man chapter. Let's go ahead and jump into 190. I challenge you to get to 500 likes and 10 subscribers on this video. So the chapter begins with aging in a completely dark void, wondering where he is, and this immediately reminded me of the Falling Devil arc, where something similar happened with Asa, if my memory serves me well. Now, this is striking only because we know so little about what this place is. And as aging begins to look around, it looks as if stars appear and that he is in some space of some kind. Thinking he was eaten by Chainsaw Man or possibly sent to the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Game of the Year edition, you know, the one with the steelbook, a silhouette appears in the darkness. And before I say anything, this art is just absolutely incredible. I don't know what it is, but anytime that Fujimoto draws or has a setting in some cosmic looking place, I am immediately drawn to it. I think whenever Chainsaw Man will end, which I mean, who knows at this point, it might as well be decades. It would be cool to see Fujimoto tackle a setting in space. Think like Chainsaw Man meets Alien Isolation or something, that would be really cool. So yeah, it turns out that the silhouette he sees is very clearly Pochita, but it morphs into something rather odd. The highly detailed mouth and chin of a strange man with a mole. Of course, this is obviously Tree Guy. Now, he says the most peculiar thing. Yuguchi, George, and I believed in you. We believed you'd chosen us for some noble cause and guided us to a deathless paradise. Now, this seems like something random, but this is actually a huge deal. It shows that aging is pretty much ruthless and absolutely cruel and unfair. So this could be, in a way, a metaphor of the weight of all of his sins coming back to haunt him. Either way, the moment that ties all of this together is Pochita standing in a room of octopus tentacles, with the words coming from him, "How could you send the devil to our world?" Now, this is even crazier. So think of it this way. If Tree Guy is mad at aging for ruining their world by bringing Chainsaw Man there, then it seems that this is exactly what they wanted in the end. Because from Pochita's mouth pops out the Tree Guy to grab aging and take him back to the world of his own creation. There are so many ways to interpret this moment. Does Tree Guy and the others in there actually want to stay? Did they in actuality sign this contract knowing full well that what they were doing, and since they have just completely gone nutso, I don't know. I mean, this really does change the way I see some of these characters, but then again, I don't know. What is even weirder is the octopus face appears to be what is encasing Pochita within it, which, speaking of, we see Fumiko with a blade, as it's pretty much revealed in this chapter that she is alive and very much has fooled us once again. And honestly, I gotta say, this entire character is so freaking infuriating. Fujimoto with this character intentionally made you think that she was bad, then good, back to bad, and now I just think that she is a bad person who is pretty good at times. I'm not sure, but either way, I need to know more about Fumiko because she is just still so mysterious and so weird that I just cannot get a read on her at all. So we see that aging along with his chair were brought back into their world, which now means aging cannot use his powers any longer, as powers do not work in his world. This in turn gives the gang the proper leverage to get out of there through obviously Denji's mouth. Since they were at a stalemate, the only way to move forward was to simply compromise, and so they did with a contract. They must return them to their world and never fight again. And if he does not agree, then he will be stuck for eternity within this world with Denji, which honestly, he chose correctly and let them go. But this transition back to the normal world of Japan, normal enough, where a mob of men and women are going around killing the fake Chainsaw Man sprouting up everywhere. It's crazy, but it has been so long that I forgot this was happening in the world at this moment. And so they go to a cafe while Denji is absolutely caked in blood, and Asa, who is still sporting, I guess, children's arms, I guess you could technically say. I found this transition just so funny and abrupt. The fact that this arc was resolved by threatening not Chainsaw Man, but Denji was just insane, and somehow it actually worked. I guess this really does say something about Asa wanting to protect Denji and save him when aging himself would rather form a contract to get away from him forever. Asa, I gotta say, you a real one. But We also get a cute moment where the gang orders their food, and it's a little interesting just to kind of observe what they're eating and choosing. Yoshida is very reserved, getting an iced coffee with no milk or sugar. Makes sense. Yoshida is quite a stoic character. Denji orders a whole big chocolate cake because he is Denji, and that shows how simple-minded he is. Fami orders... Wait. Fami's here? What? Where the hell was Fami this entire freaking time? She just shows back up? She's not supposed to be here. She's supposed to be Fumiko. Anyways, she also gets the big chocolate cake too. Fumiko orders some orange juice, and Asa, poor girl, orders royal milk tea. Now, I've played enough Fire Emblem tea time to get the gist here, but I do find all of their orders interesting. Denji's is childish. Fami's, well, she's just Fami. Fumiko is just weird and sort of childish, and Asa's is also sort of childish, as she is ordering tea with a lot of milk in it. While all very fine and delicious choices, we now know what these characters like, which is pretty cool. But the gang obviously is just happy that they finally get to return to their normal lives of a collapsing humanity full of violent mobs, construction, and death. This juxtaposition is funny, but it does show how desensitized they are to all of the chaos happening around them and in the world. I can really relate to this one. I think we all can. Maybe Fujimoto can as well. But even more interesting is we see the tree guy is now back out into the real world working construction, cleaning up the desolation while the old chair is stuck for eternity inside a fake world of something else's creation, getting just exactly what he deserved. This chapter was 5 seconds of peak fiction. It was great. I actually really loved how this chapter ended because I think it's a commentary on just people in power generally. This guy was a total tool for aging and did everything he could to protect himself over his own people, which he then cowardly hid behind an excuse that he was doing it to help them. Nah, people like him, they are all the same. They'll say whatever they need to get as much power as possible. I think the fact he was left behind is probably what we wish we could do in the real world. Seal off all of the people that are like this. But I think the next chapter is when a lot of exposition will begin to take place, SAO style in the coffee shop, you know what I'm talking about. I have a couple theories on what they may discuss. For one, they absolutely have to talk about Nayata, as she is the elephant in the room. Where is she? Is she alive? I also think we need to check up on a little bit of an old guy, old Katana Man, old Boomer Man too, and the other hybrids, they're MIA. Plus, what in the hell is going on with Fami? Has her brain fully recovered from the elbow incident? And of course, who in the hell are Yoshida and especially Fumiko Mifune? I need the answers, and I need them now. Call JG Wentworth. I'm also quite looking forward to Yoru interjecting into the conversation and Asa enjoying her royal milk tea. I think she, of all people, has earned that much. And Denji, he's earned that gigantic chocolate cake too. I challenge you to 500 likes and 10 subscribers as well. I have a Dawn to Dawn channel where I cover weekly chapters every Monday, just like I do here. Thank you everyone for watching, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty furious because the bi-weekly devil is back, so we gotta wait 2 weeks to get our answers.